Hello, second graders. Our grammar lesson today, again, is on verbs. So we're going to continue Sunny with verbs. So yesterday we learned action words are called verbs. What can you do? So if you can do something, that is showing action, so that is a verb. Only verbs will stick on the surfboard. So I'm going to click on a word and then I want you to think, is that a verb? Smile. Smile is something you can do, so that's an action word that is a verb. That will stick to the surfboard. Car. You can't do a car, so that is not a verb. That will disappear. Green. Green is not a verb, so that will disappear as well. Swim. Oh, that is an action word because you can swim like at a pool or a lake. So that is a verb that will stick on the surfboard. Dive. Oh, that's another action word. You can dive like into the pool. So that is a verb. Sun. You can't do a sun, so that's not a verb. Float. You can definitely float in the water, float in the pool. That is a verb. Jump. You can jump. That is a verb. And sand. You can't do sand, so that is not a verb. We need to find the verbs. Now, you don't need to write your answer on a whiteboard, but we're going to find the verbs. Jump, red, tree. Out of these three, which one is the verb? If you said jump, you are right. Jump is a verb. You can do that. You can jump up and down. That is a verb. All right. How about he, 10, or eat? Which one is the verb? Which one can you do? You can't do a he, you can't do a 10, but you can eat. That is a verb. All right. Sand, shout, blue. Can you do a sand? Can you shout? Can you do a blue? So shout is our verb. We, pretty, dive. Which one is the verb? Can't do a we, can't do a pretty, but you can dive. So dive is our verb. All right, now, good job. Now I want you to find the verb in this sentence. All right, I build a sandcastle. So remember, we always look for a noun, which is I, that's our subject, and the verb is usually following it. So I, what is I doing? Building, or build. So build is our verb. We play in the waves. We is our noun, that is our subject, who the sentence is about. What is we doing? We're playing, play. So that is our verb. She digs a hole. She is our noun. Digs is what she is doing. So that's our verb. The children swam all day. The children is the noun or the subject of the sentence. What are they doing? They swam. That is our verb. All right, good job. Now, we are going to watch another grammar video on verbs. Yesterday we watched Grammaropolis. Today we're going to watch a video from Schoolhouse Rock.
I get my thing in action. To be, to see, to feel, to live.
That's what's happening.
I put my heart in action. To run, to go, to get, to give.
You're what's happening.
That's where I find satisfaction, yeah. To search, to find, to have, to hold.
To be bold.
When I use my imagination, I think, I plot, I plan, I dream, turning in towards creation. I make, I write, I dance, I sing when I'm feeling really active. I run, I ride, I swim, I fly. Other times when life is easy, I rest, I sleep, I sit, I lie.
Verb, that's what's happening.
I can take a noun and bend it, give me a noun.
That's both break and clown.
Make it a verb and really send it.
Show me how.
Oh, I don't know my own power. I get my thing in action, in being, and doing, and saying. A verb expresses action, being or a state of being.
A verb makes a statement.
Yeah, a verb tells it like it is.
That's what's happening.
I can tell you when it's happening.
Past, present, future tense.
Ooh, tell you more about what's happening.
Say it slowly, make some sense.
Oh, I can tell you who is happening.
Verb, you're so intense.
Hey, every sentence has a subject.
Noun, person, place, or thing.
Find that subject, where's the action?
Verb can make a subject sing.
Take a subject, what is it? What's done to it? What does it say?
Verb, you're so confident.
I can question like, what is it?
Verb, you're so demanding.
I can order like, go get it.
Verb, you're so commanding.
When I hit, I need an object.
Hit the wall.
Ooh, when I see the
Do
object.
you see that bird fall?
If you can see it, then put the ball on the fence, man. Go ahead on. Yeah, all right. What? Behind you. It's going. It's going. It's going. I get my thing in action.
That's what's happening.
Ha, to work, to play, to live, to love.
Okay, so today we reviewed verbs. Now what I would like you to do is to find your green grammar worksheet for today. It is page number 52. Pause the video if you need to. Get out your green grammar sheet and I'm going to start the sheet with you. At the top, I'm going to make this really big, but at the top, make sure you put your name on it first. So put your name nice and neat at the top. It says in the box, an action verb tells about the action in the sentence. Some action verbs tell about actions that are hard to see. For example, Jim enjoys that book about the weather. Now, enjoys is a verb. That is something you can do, but it is hard to see. So if you're not sure if it's a verb or not, look for your noun or who the sentence is about, and the word behind it normally is your noun. All right, down below, we're going to do 3 of these together, and then the last 2 you will do on your own. We are going to circle the action verb, so that's the first thing you need to do, and then you're going to write another sentence using that same verb. All right, let's look at number 1. Number 1, I'll make this really big so you can see, says, Amy thinks about magnets. Now, I need to think, who is this subject about? Oh, it is about Amy. Well, what is she doing? What can she do? She's thinking, just like Mrs. Murphy said that I was thinking. So that is our verb. So I'm going to circle thinks, and then I'm going to write a sentence. I'm going to write a sentence about Mrs. Murphy. I'm going to say, Mrs. Murphy thinks about, and then I'm going to pick something kind of fun. I'm going to think about space. And if you run out of room, like Mrs. Murphy did, just write it underneath. Now, do your best to sound out your words. If they aren't spelled perfectly, that is totally fine. So you can copy Mrs. Murphy's sentence. You could change your name. You could change your name to, like, for example, Ingrid thinks about space. Oh, and if you didn't notice, Mrs. Murphy forgot my S. When I read that, I noticed it wasn't quite right. So make sure you have thinks about, and then maybe tell me what you think about, okay? If you want to circle thinks to know that these two have to match, that would be perfect. Okay, pause the video if you need to catch up, because I know grammar, you might have to pause the video a lot. Number 2 says, Tom loves books about space. Ooh, this sentence is about Tom. He's my subject, he's my noun. What is he doing? Oh, he loves. Now, loves is a verb. That one is kind of hard to see, because it's hard to see love. But that is the verb. That is something you can do. So now I need to write a sentence, or you need to write a sentence using the word loves. So again, I'm going to say Mrs. Murphy, and you might want to pick your name. Mrs. Murphy loves, and I'm going to say reading, because I love reading. And I'm going to sound it out as best as I can. And I'm going to put a period at the end. And I'm going to double check that I have the beginning of my sentence capitalized. And I'm just going to circle loves, just to make sure that these two have to match. Okay, pause the video if you need to. And the last one, Bill listens about motion. Now, who is this sentence about? Oh, it's about Bill. What is he doing? He listens. That's the verb. Now that one's hard to see. It's hard to see people listening, but that is the verb. So I'm going to write a sentence about Mrs. Murphy listens. I'm going to say Mrs. Murphy listens for the bell. All right, make sure you double check your sentences to make sure they have punctuation, like a period and a capital letter. And I'm going to circle listens to show that these two match. Okay, now, like I said, you can copy my sentences, or if I were you, I'd change who they're about. Maybe put your name instead of Mrs. Murphy's. And you can also change what is after the verb. Pause the video if you need to. Now, your assignment is to finish number 4 and 5. Look for the verb. Read the sentence, look for the verb, circle it, and then I want you to write 2 new sentences using that verb. All right, second graders, finish up your grammar, page 52 for today.